Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Lately, I've been, enjoying myself, being well rested, and reading some articles regarding the economy. And quite frankly, I've come to the conclusion that America in the future is just going to be about business. And let me explain to you why that's the case. Okay. You had post World War II America, where you had a bunch of individuals who were eligible to graduate from high school and get a job, and more importantly, be trained on the job and make a living. Believe it or not, there are people who are engineers, mind you, people who are engineers today who don't even have a license. Okay. And I'm not talking about locomotive engineers, I'm talking about mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, industrial engineers, etc. These are like really older individuals, okay? Now, why is that the case? Because before the standardization process with one organization, engineering was done on the local level. So you had someone from your locality teach you on how you make a living. Okay. Now, this is going to explain where I'm getting at in the future. So from 1945 to 1973 with the oil embargo, that's when you could say America had a rather prosperous time. Okay. You get a job and you could make whatever good living that you want. Okay. You could be a stock, you know, retailer, you stock shells, etc. And you could raise a family of four or five just on a, single salary. You could even purchase a house. Now, that changes after 1973. Okay. And it becomes harder. But, you could still, let's say, graduate college and do well in your life. And that works for a little bit. Okay. Now, here comes the 90s. Okay. The quote unquote Bill Clinton 90s. Everyone is great. Everyone is doing well. The economy is popping off. The 90s was the last decade where you could graduate, not have a degree, and everything was fine. You had the first internet boom where you could just do an HTML page and you just, sell it for hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. Then what comes next? You have the recession in 2008. Everything grinds to a halt and you have a severe shortage, okay, of positions open. And you know what ends up happening? A lot of businesses take full advantage of that and they decide not to even pay adequate wages anymore. So a position that used to cost, let's say, $30 in 2005 may very well be, $28 an hour today. But of course, you have what? You have inflation. And what happens when you have inflation? Well, the thing is that when you have inflation, you don't have much else to do. Your dollar means less. So the economy trudges along. Okay? Trudges along till what? The lockdown. And what ends up happening? Everything just grinds to a halt. Again, even worse so. And you know what ends up happening? The government gives individuals regular checks and give businesses high levels of loans, unforgiven. Right? They just get like a free loan from the government if you own the business. So you know what that's telling people these days? You know what it's really telling people? If I wish to get ahead in the future, if I wish to get ahead in America, you're going to have to own a business. Okay. That's just the fact of the matter. You have people getting loans to buy alpaca farms. You got people getting loans to buy, vehicles, etc. But let me tell you this, okay? And this is really important. You had people who used those loans and even got rid of their own staff. So you're working at a company for what? 3, 5, 7, or even 10 years. And you get laid off. Why? Because you are just a cost to the business, and the business owner could get more money by just getting rid of you. Okay? You see where I'm going with this? If a person cannot make a living from having a job, because a lot of times you're taught that you can only make a living if you have a job, then where does that leave the future? Well, the future is just going to go back down to the fundamentals. And what's those fundamentals? You're going to be a business owner, because that's what America is. America is a property state. America is not this state where it's like, oh my God, I own a house, etc. Yes, it's house property. Yes, it's a lesser form of property. Why do I say it's a lesser form of property? Let me explain something. When you had the colonies, right? And you basically had, political power because, you own property and you were a white man, but because you own property, you get to send a person to Congress or to whatever political, assembly to represent you. Now, this property existed not as a house, but as a land. And from said land, you grew your crops and you had your house. So all three of those things were the same. Your shelter, okay, where you worked at, all right, and how you made a living from the crops you produced, which were typically food items, they were all one and the same. You see where I'm getting at? Okay. This future that we have, you people talking about, getting 6 figures and all that stuff. What's really going to matter is if you own a business. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not going to be about, oh, well, look at me. I got this degree, or look at me. I'm associated with so and so group of people. No. What's going to matter is how you're going to economically empower some people. Because in the future, it's going to be about business, and business is about groups. Doesn't matter if you got straight A's or summa cum laude. You have a lot of people in these third world developing countries. They have, 4.0s, etc., and they're still selling fruits on the streets. You've been led to believe that because you have this degree and you have these credentials, you're not going to do certain work. Incorrect. When you become higher up, you're going to do the same work, but it's just going to be a different game. It's just going to be applied differently. The kid who's, on the streets selling bottles of water is very much the same individual who's in the boardroom meeting trying to get people on his idea. So he's selling them on his idea. You know what the similarity is? They're both engaging in sales. That is the truth. You don't have any cash. You don't have any money. You're not as useful. If you have cash, if you have money, it's going to mean something. Because why? Because every group that exists is going to need someone that can provide some capital in the discussion. It's as simple as that. You don't have that. You don't have the money. You don't have the cash, etc. No one cares. They don't want to deal with you. They don't want to be by you. They don't even want to hear your name. So that's all I got to say. America is going to be about business today. It's definitely going to be more about business in the future, and I hope you enjoyed that talk. You have a nice day. Bye.